Alright guys, today I'm going to share with you a video analysis I made for one of my clients, helping him with his kick serve. He's a great tennis player. He was number 7 in Australia in the juniors, and he's looking to turn pro. Trying to improve his kick serve. Hopefully the advice I give him will help you with your serve. Make sure you watch to the end of the video because there's definitely different things throughout that can help you.
All right, mate, thanks for signing up for my video analysis program. Obviously a great tennis player, a great serve, but your topspin kick serve could be a lot better. And it's pretty simple to understand what you need to do to improve it, which may not necessarily be easy, but just understanding what to do to make this better is relatively simple. And it's just getting your swing to be more synchronized with your body position, because as you swing up the tennis ball, up and out, you need your body facing in that direction. Right now, you face the court so much that as you swing up and across, you're now swinging away from your body, which would be kind of like throwing a ball like this, where you're not going to be able to throw it as fast as if I was just to face the direction I'm throwing. Another thing that happens when you open up too much and now you're trying to come across is you're just using your arm, you're pulling the shoulder out, and there's a ton of wrist on the finish of the shot. So I would like to see your body a little bit more sideways and your arm move sort of with the body and around your body. Now I like to say that if you want to be able to accelerate, it's useful to be able to have a good brake system, because if you don't have a good brake system, having the confidence to accelerate, well, it's quite difficult, right? So in theory, if you didn't have any brakes, you can still accelerate, but it doesn't really make much sense. So you need good brakes. You need a good way of slowing down the racket to give you the confidence to accelerate. If not, you may get injured. You might get a lot of wrist injuries and shoulder injuries doing what you're doing. So I want you to focus on staying more sideways. Feel like you're throwing in the direction you're facing, and try and have this arm motion where as you come through here, you're going to pronate a little bit. You don't really have to worry about that too much, but think about finishing in front of your body. It may be a little bit cupped, but finish here instead of out to the side. Let's just give it a go. All right, so that's kind of the motion. You can do it far more athletic than that, but you can either stay grounded like I just did, or you can jump, but you can see that my arm motion is moving with my body instead of being thrown away from my body. You're kind of swimming upstream, and you're kind of pissing in the wind doing that. You want to feel like everything is synchronized and working together. So stay sideways. Don't worry about reaching so much. I know you're really tall, so there's this idea of getting up there and hitting it down. You need to be able to brush up the ball. So being as high as you can on this second serve is not going to do anything for you. Get used to hitting up the ball, but don't overstretch. Let it drop a little bit. Be comfortable. Stay sideways. Feel like your arm is moving with the body. And when you finish, feel like you are swinging around your body instead of away from your body. Make sense? Give it a go. Let me know if you got any questions. And we'll keep moving forwards. Talk to you soon.
Alright mate, let's take a look at your latest video. I think you've made some good progress here, focusing a lot on the body positioning, staying a little bit more sideways. We're going to talk a little bit more about pronation today. Going to take a look at what Roger Federer's doing, see if we can learn from him. And I'm going to give you some advice you will have never heard before. But let's start by looking at this first video. I do think you're a little bit more sideways. I also think you're letting the ball drop a little bit more, which is good. You don't want to be fully stretched when you're hitting this kick serve. And I think that was one of your issues before, was because you're tall, first of all, you want to use your height, so you want to stretch high to use your strength, being tall. And then once you're up there, you're hitting it down. But if you're looking to hit a good kick serve, you need to let the ball drop a little bit and feel like as you hit it, you're hitting the ball upwards. So this looks better to me, hitting the ball up and you're going to get a higher bounce on the other side of the net. So better body position, better contact point, and I think that's really important. Now, I want to talk a little bit about pronation, but let's just listen to what you had to say here.
So essentially what I'm trying to do at the moment here is I find the more I push my left hip in line with the ball toss inside the court, it keeps my right leg behind more and keeps my hips on a better angle for the serve. To start with, I was shanking a few more, but I'm starting to find the more I push the left hip, I feel like I can get more legs into the serve. So I'll take one more look.
All right, so that makes sense. Understood. Well, sort of difficult to understand that Aussie accent. If you could speak with the Queen's English, you know what I mean? That would that would help. No, but I understand what you're saying, and it's personal to you. You're finding your own ways of staying sideways, and it makes sense. It makes sense what you're saying. So continue to do whatever helps you to stay sideways for longer. Now, what I want to talk about is, again, this wrist position here. So let's zoom in. So you see there's quite a lot of wrist coming through the shot, and some more than others. But I think that's quite a lot of wrist. Now, when you get to the finish of the shot, there's also quite a lot of wrist here, and you can see the racket kind of heading towards your legs. Now, you've said when you try to finish in front of you, you tend to hit a lot of slice. But that doesn't really have to be the case, because the topspin happens here. All of the other stuff about the follow through is just focusing on making all of your movements more efficient. And it's important to do that. It's important to be able to move the racket quick. It's important to be able to not put any unnecessary stress on your shoulder or your wrist. And once you can move the racket around your body smoothly, you're going to be able to accelerate it a lot faster. Now let's take a look at Roger Federer. That's not him. All right, so let's take a look at Roger. Hitting a kick serve. Holding a very sideways position here. Not fully stretched. The arm might get kind of straight. It's not going to lock out, but he's obviously not at full stretch there. He could reach higher. But that's going to allow him to brush up the ball. Now look at the pronation. See how you can see the back of the racket. And he's going to continue to rotate around the body. So it just looks effortless, as you'd expect from Roger. But that's really what we're going for. And it's just I'm going to show you how natural this is. And that's not to say it's easy, but this is a natural, biomechanically sound movement to rotate the arm and the racket, pronate, and move it around the body. And he's able to hit kick. He's not slicing it just because the arms rotate around, because he's brushing up the ball. And if you brush up the ball, you're not going to come around it enough to get your slice on it. All right, so let's take a look at this video. Do not try this at home. I'm swinging an axe. It is heavy. It's really heavy. Now, my point of this video, and again, it wasn't about people trying to do this, because it is not easy and you probably chop your legs off, and that's just bad. It's bad for the brand. But as we come in here, you're going to see I have to rotate. So we're going to rotate the arm, which is essentially pronation. So now the axe is, I'm hitting it with the side of the axe, and it's just rotating around my body. All right, so you're using the weight of this axe to guide me in the most efficient way possible. Now, let's go back to Roger. Let's imagine that his racket is crazy heavy. You don't have to think about it being an axe, but just imagine that the racket is 200 times heavier. He would be able to move it in this way. That is a very efficient way of moving the racket around the body. So he's using biomechanically sound movements to move the arm and the racket, which leads to pronation. Now, let's pull this up. This is one of your older videos that you've sent me. So before I gave you any advice. All right, let's take a look at this first one. I think you are more sideways here than you were in the other before video. But we've got, again, quite a lot of wrist. And you can see you finish sort of out to the side with a very abrupt finish. So again, imagine the racket's really heavy. Imagine you've got that axe in your hand and just rotate the arm around you a little bit instead of it finishing to the side. Now what's interesting, the reason I want to show you this is because this is the only serve I've seen of yours that has pronation. Look at this. Look at the pronation here. No wrist at all, because all you've done is rotate the arm instead of using the wrist. Now in this position here, this is fantastic. If you just continue this motion at this point, just again, you'd have no choice if it was an axe. You'd have to just let it rotate around you, or you'd chop your legs off. So continue this motion. It's a good contact point. You're brushing up this pronation, and you can just rotate the arm around. You've got a nice little elbow bend here, so you don't have to kind of pull out of that shot. And once you've got a smooth and more efficient motion, it's just going to help you to accelerate all the way through this serve. The next one, we're back to a little bit more wrist, and now we've got the racket kind of facing your legs here. So you can do that. So use that as the blueprint. You know, it's easier for you to, you know, the fact that you've done it, just watch yourself do it, and learn from that. Essentially, you're rotating the arm out instead of here. It looks like it's kind of rotating in a little bit, which is probably why you end up feeling like as you rotate around the body, you're going to cup it, you're going to hit slice. If you rotate the arm out, you pronate, you're probably going to get a little bit more topspin. I'm going to post all the videos that me and Ben send back and forth to each other on the Serve Coordination Chain video guide. So check that out, and I'll talk to you soon.